goes along.
But you don't have to pass your mic, of course.
I get my own mic because I'm special.
What was that?
That was them screaming.
Jesus Christ.
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Hey.
And hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. We have
Who are
three...
these randos we got
Huh?
here?
Yeah, they just showed up. I mean, they knocked on the door. We said, hey, you want to do the podcast? And they jumped in. No, we have the amazing dream team, Aeon Techs, with us in the building. Introduce yourselves.
What's up, guys?
Hello, it's me again, the Laser Fairy.
Hello. This is David from the Aeon Tech Support team.
I don't have as good of an intro. My name is EJ, also part of the tech support team.
So it's really special. We got them in person.
Right. You're only our second in-person guest.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the other one was
Okay.
Emily, which was,
That's
you
awesome.
know, kind of a given.
Obviously.
So how are you guys doing?
Well, I just had to sit in the car for 2.5 hours with these two, so...
So let's talk about that story real quick.
Yes.
So
a good
tell us
one.
about the restroom break you guys stuff.
So yes, we made the mistake to drink a little bit too much of fluids, and we had to take a bathroom break. And 5 stores. Yeah, 5 stores, no bathroom was working, and then before we know it, we got confronted by some people apparently that own the bushes in the area. So everybody just stood next to their bush, and they
We're
looked
like,
at us
"Not
like, "Hey,
here."
man, not this one."
Not
So
this
we
one.
just had to move along, find a bathroom. Yeah, it was like a 15-minute ordeal, but we finally got it.
That's good.
It was rough.
Gotta break you in.
Yeah, we made it work, so that's all that
Good.
matters. We claimed our own bush.
Yeah, Aspen texted me and she's like, men in these weak bladders.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
We got the problem too. It's fine. So let's jump right in.
Oh boy.
I think I'm gonna put Aspen in the hot seat first.
Okay.
Okay,
But it's
well,
not really a hot seat. Don't be nervous.
you did put me here front and center.
I did.
With my own mic.
Yes. Is this
Yeah.
good or bad?
It's good. See, boys, I have my own mic.
I know we're sharing one over
I
here.
aspire to be like that one day.
You said this was your debut, David? This is my debut.
What's your second?
We'll talk about that later, David. Don't worry. I'm gonna get you a fan base. A
You don't-
Laser Mom
Please.
fan base.
Please.
You don't have a mic right now anyway, so.
Darn it.
So, one question that Heather had before we get into the
Hi,
other
Heather.
question.
What have you done?
She wants to know where the frickin' Laser Fairy shirt is. And has it happened
It's
yet?
a great question.
Wait, like to send to other people?
No, for you.
Oh, for me.
Like when you show up at people's houses, you
Right.
need a shirt that says,
I usually
frickin'
wear
Laser
my
Fairy.
freaking laser beam shirt.
it's close, but it's not good enough.
But no cigar.
Who do we need to talk to get
Danny Martinez.
Yeah.
Okay,
His name
okay.
is Daniel
I'm gonna
Martinez.
slide into his DMs
He's the
right
president
after.
of the company, and he orders the T-shirts.
Perfect.
So
I'll let him know.
Let him
Okay.
know.
Let me write that
Right.
down.
Would you like his email, his phone number?
Just
Just
I have
kidding.
his
We'll get that
DMs,
out.
which
I don't think he
it's
would
not good
appreciate
enough.
that.
I need a better way to get a hold of him because when I DM
Well-
him, he'll take a week to get back to me.
I only just recently, like a week ago, finally got his phone number, so I shouldn't be able to.
Okay,
I don't-
yeah. You might get it. Okay, fine. So, you told me you have some new roles. I wrote role and you added an S.
Yeah,
so
we had to make that-
So
we had to
since the
make that
last
plural.
time you were here,
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
us know what's changed.
Well, I'm no longer working on production, so daily, machines. I'm no longer doing that. I've moved on to. I'm doing small pack, so when these two request parts to be sent out to customers, I'm the one that's packing them up and sending them.
Okay.
And then I've also been kind of managing the inventory. It's a very slow process. There's a lot of
Work in
inventory.
progress.
And small pack actually takes up like most of my day.
Yeah.
So just, we moved into the new shop about 3 months ago or so. So it's just going through all the stuff that we have and trying to, get certain parts in stock, which we just got a big order in. So
Yeah.
it's sitting there waiting.
Waiting for the Laser Fairy to go through it.
It'll get done eventually.
Someday.
We hired a new guy couple months ago. He's working on a bunch of processes and guides. So right now we're working on in-house guides. So testing, wiring, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So him and I have been also slowly working on that. He's in college up in Gainesville, so he's working remotely right now. So we're trying to get those out, and so he was assigned to work with me on that. What else am I doing? We just hired another guy as well to take over.
Oh, here we go.
To take over small pack. So I've been training him and kind of just doing whatever, Danny and Leck need me to do as well. Yeah. What, David?
She changes her shipping methods all the time.
Oh, yeah. If you're unsatisfied with your shipping method, you can at me, I guess.
How so?
She's in control of the small packaging, so every time we put in a ticket, you have to request, how fast it goes out. Okay. Oh yeah, she's a tough one. She's a tough one.
Overnighting is expensive.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
It's gotta be done sometimes.
Makes sense.
Sometimes, yes. Not every single time.
No.
Is that what we're changing?
Trying to get better at that.
So if you don't get it overnight, DM Aspen. I'm just kidding. Don't do it.
And then occasionally I still help with support, and I'm still traveling as well.
Yeah.
Which that was like a.
Every time my machine goes down, I'm like, send Aspen. Yeah. I don't want to do
is the go-to.
Send Aspen.
Yeah, I've had a busy few. I went. The last 3 weeks I've been all over. So.
Yeah.
I mean, that was when they changed my role. I was like, I'm not giving that up. And, they were obviously like, oh, no, we don't. Right. Like, you're the one that's going to be doing that. Yeah. Well, and then there's one of our other technicians, Sam. He also travels. Nice. He mostly does the Novas. Okay. So if ever Nova goes down, or, like, Supernovas get a technician in their package to go to their house.
And it's Sam.
For setup, so Sam does that.
Nice.
So we're like a traveling team.
Heather wants to buy a Nova or a Super Nova.
Heather, you don't have room in your house.
That's right. That's what they're moving.
Yes.
And they don't know where they're moving to. She's like, and I was like, you don't even have a new house yet.
Heather, whenever you're looking for houses, just make sure you get a laser room.
Right. Oh, totally. You know.
A laser room?
Yeah.
A laser room.
She's going to need it. Because, right now her laser is in her dining room.
Wow.
Kitchen
That's right.
area. Yeah. And when she has parties, they cover it with a tarp. And
does she really?
Awesome.
They cover it with some tablecloth, I think, and then it's just another work area.
Hey, it's a small table.
Hey, share elbow space.
Yeah, small table.
Elbow space, David.
We never thought we'd have 3 guests at once. And hence the shared microphone. Because we thought at most, we're good with 4.
Yeah.
2 and 2, but no.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, everybody knows about me. Let's move it on to the boys over here.
Yeah, so
the infamous David and EJ.
First, yes. How did
you
get into this job?
Yeah, it was actually kind of by accident. I was in aviation for 4.5 years, and then COVID hit. So aviation took a big hit with that all across the board. So I made it to the 3rd wave of layoffs, and then they finally, had to let me go. So looking for another aviation job was basically impossible because everybody was letting people go instead of hiring. So after about 5 or 6 months, I was like, I think I need to kind of pick a different, career here. Yeah. So I just started applying, and I actually applied for the warehouse position with Aeon. And
what would that entail? Is that
I'm assuming I was just going to be helping with, uncrating and bringing them in, but with the forklift and things like that. But, I went in, I got along with Andrew, our HR guy, right away off the bat, and did pretty well with the test that they give you with an electronics board.
Right.
And I guess they saw that I was personable, so I would do well with talking with customers. Right. So they just threw me in the fire right away, and I caught on quickly, thankfully, because it was a lot of knowledge to take in at once. But I just went for it.
I mean, I've been doing laser stuff for 3 years, and I still learn something almost
it's endless.
Weekly, daily.
Endless, absolutely. So that's how I got in. It was really by accident.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with it. So when COVID started dying down, they asked me to come back, and I was like, no,
I'm cool
okay.
here. I found me a new home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So what were you doing before aviation, though? Was that like always what you wanted to do?
No, I was going to college for aerospace engineering. Mm-hmm. So that was really my, like right out of high school, I had a high school job, just retail. But then I jumped straight into that at 18, 19. And I was there all the way until turning 23. Yeah. So I didn't really have any other job other than that before.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Hold on, David. You forgot about your sick beats.
Oh yeah, I do make music on the side. Oh, my hobby. Yep.
We could
you guys use a new intro.
Yep.
Yes.
I got it.
All
you
right.
guys send me a beat, I'm on it. Yeah,
Please send in your application for David's groupie.
I'll give you guys my Instagram and stuff so you can check it out. That'd be awesome. Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
And you are?
My name's EJ. But we already know that.
And how did you get into laser
This industry? Yeah, so I mean, really, it's kind of a lot like David's situation. You really don't know about lasers or that they exist until you kind of get into that world.
Right.
So it was really by accident.
Yeah.
So same deal. Right out of high school, working retail jobs like Target, Walgreens, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then I got into the medical industry for a little bit, which during COVID.
No, that's fine.
Which during COVID.
It sounded low to me.
Sorry, I need to get it closer.
No, you're good.
So yeah.
The one who matters.
I fixed
says
it
you're
post.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you got me on the back end, that's all that matters. So yeah, during COVID, business was booming in the medical industry, so it wasn't like there was any shortages there on my end of things. Right. But the company I was working for did not have a lot of vertical mobility, and I was also going to school for different technology-based things. So there's actually a tech who works with us. His name's Alex, who basically was like, hey man, I know you enjoy talking to people. That's literally what you do, is just talk to people. I mean, why don't you come, you can learn the machines. He was like, it's gonna be no problem, and you take it from there. So they have us do this little interview board, right, where they set up like a little board and you do some wiring and things like that just to see your aptitude naturally.
Right.
I mean, I plugged everything in where it was supposed to go, but like I dropped my tools like 3 times that I'm getting nervous. Like I dropped a screwdriver and one of the techs just looks over and he's like, oh, it's a wrap. And I was like, oh my God. That's it. So I was like, okay, I failed. Whatever, we'll move on. We'll keep working in the medical industry. But same deal. They were like, you dropped your screwdriver, that's fine. You're butterfingers, but you're smart. You're smart enough to learn the machines.
You're not so red.
Am I getting some red? Overcast?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's just what happens.
Yeah, it's just how it is.
We're not set up for 3.
No.
That's okay. We'll make it work.
We're getting a new table.
Yeah.
What? No, we're not.
longer
This one
table.
was really fucking expensive.
We need a longer table. Stop booking 3 guests.
No, it's okay. But yeah, it was basically like you're just good at talking to people. You enjoy talking to people, and
Which
you're
is
smart.
huge for customer service.
And,
Like,
it's good. You can't train that.
yeah.
You
No.
either have it or you don't.
you got it or you don't, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what they tell us. They're like, it's one of those positions where it's not like there's a call center of 100 people just waiting to help you.
Literally,
so
yeah.
It's a pretty specialized role. So yeah. Then you get thrown into the fire, like David said. Luckily, I had David. This dude is like ridiculously organized. So my first day there, he was like, here's all of my notes, and it was like postcards like that thick, which gave me a huge head start.
Right.
But then it's just kind of learning on the job.
Those aerospace guys.
Yeah, exactly. He had like drawings of diagrams of like which way to move the knobs and stuff. It was super helpful. That's about it. By accident.
My first question for you guys is the most common.
We polled our groups for questions.
And they didn't give me shit.
Oh, well,
okay,
I mean,
this was all stuff that
she could have lied and said these are the questions.
No, because they're gonna go look at the post and see ain't nobody answered her. What's she talking about?
They could have sent a DM.
Okay, whatever. I'm a terrible liar too, as you guys can tell.
Not me.
The most common support ticket or question.
So I guess I'll just say it for us. Yeah, and me and David would answer this at the same time if we had we both had mics. But since we don't,
y'all saw that little jab if we both had mics.
But basically, I think I can speak for all of us when I say it's the one that's your tube's not filled with water. Just got my machine, my tube didn't fill with water. I'll just let David explain.
There's a misconception that you're supposed to see water flowing through the tube the entire time, but if you don't catch it within like the first second to 2 seconds of turning the machine on, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the chiller is built in with sensors. So if you don't have water flow, it's going to start beeping at you like crazy.
Yeah.
And you can't run your laser. It'll give you water protection error on the keypad.
Yeah.
And it's going to give you like an E6 error code on the chiller.
Yeah.
So everybody freaks out at first. Oh my God, I don't see any water. And it's like, we get
it's okay.
It's definitely understandable.
Do you have a copy and paste response to...
I do. I sure do. 100%. I made a template. I was like, you know what? This is one of those that I'm tired of typing out every time.
So what else is on your template then? Do you have a couple of other runner-up?
We have a couple. I would say like chiller temperature, what it's supposed to be set at.
I don't think I've ever...
Yeah, the
I've never
algicide,
messed
that's a
with
big
that.
one. If they're supposed to apply any algicide into the chiller.
What is the chiller supposed to be set at?
24. Yeah, that's the set.
Celsius?
That's the set temp. Celsius, yep. We used to have them at 19, and then we upped it a little bit because it was given a little bit of problems with the regulation of the temperature. So 24 is now the set temp.
And then when is algicide used?
Usually you don't need it if you do your routine water change, at least every 3 months, but distilled water as well.
Wait, every 3 months?
But yeah, every 3 months at least.
How long have we had the laser?
So that's really
Remember how you're really good at lying? This is a time where you...
Hey, listen, that laser was expensive, and you didn't tell me anything about a water change.
Listen, I didn't know until recently, and then when I do, I forget.
Okay. Yeah, so that's
we'll
when
be
it comes
changing
to
the water
play. If you don't change it after a certain amount of months, then you probably need some algicide. But as long as you do the routine change with distilled water, you should be okay.
We'll get on that.
Luckily, you don't use your laser, so it's fine.
Yeah, not at all.
I use it sometimes.
We're starting to use it more. We will start using it more.
Yeah, the last time the techs were here, they're like, "Man, this is the cleanest machine I've seen," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I don't use it a lot." And then I posted a little hack on my page the other day of using. So there's the wet paper towel hack. Have you guys heard of that one with the acrylic?
With the acrylic,
so it works great, but the little pieces of wet paper towel really piss me off because it's like, depending on how intricate your cut is, now you have all these little pieces and you have to use like 3 or 4 pieces of paper towel for it really to be enough to absorb that flashback.
Right.
And so someone had the idea of shop towels because they're thicker. They're paper towels, but they're just thicker.
Absolutely.
And so I was sharing that hack of just using 2 shop towels, and I had, I think, at least 2 or 3 comments about how clean my honeycomb was. Well, and part of that is because we actually just turned it over, so the other side is cleaner. Yep. There is some.
Just turn it over.
It's part of it. The other side was cleaner. If I turned it back over, but yeah. Just shut your mouth. Is there any other templates you got? Or is that all you can think of?
There is definitely a couple. Which ones are we missing?
As far as templates or just common?
Just common.
Yeah, like go-to templates that we made for common questions and tickets.
There's one of
turning the laser on its side when going.
Yes,
that's
that was
another
one of my
if you
first
have to
questions.
remove the chiller and whatnot.
We didn't, and we
Wait,
had
what happened
some.
about turning it on the side?
If you turn the laser on the side, it's fine.
We were supposed to remove the chiller before turning it on the side.
Oops.
Yeah, that's why we had a little drip
How much weight does that save if you remove
like 40
40 pounds.
Yep.
Oh,
I send them out.
Okay.
40 pounds.
40 pounds?
40 exact. Not an ounce over.
40 pounds would help.
We had 3 people ready to move the laser from the garage to in my office, and the day of, the 3rd person had a sick kid and couldn't make it. So after the fact, he probably would have just more been a spotter anyway, but
because it's hard to get through the doors. But it was just me and my brother.
Yeah, it was him and his brother who got it in with the shoulder straps. But
with the shoulder straps.
his brother is a
refrigerator
bodybuilder, so that helped. But yeah, I mean, we used I've helped you with heavy shit with those shoulder straps, and I can't carry anything.
I heard that.
They make wonders.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we moved the whole thing with the chiller.
Wow.
Yeah.
40 pounds.
It was
40
a little,
pounds.
yeah, it was a little. Thankfully, it didn't.
She
the
was
water
she
didn't
was
get into.
crapping her pants.
Oh my
the whole
god!
time.
I was newly
sense.
pregnant, and so I couldn't help if I wanted to.
Right.
And I was just like sitting there, like watching, like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
And the only thing we did was we messed up the trim on the
Oh, so
on
they
the
get it
table.
into my office, and I'm
Mhm.
sitting in the living room, and I mean,
Yeah.
you guys saw. So the office is literally behind the living room.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm just like kind of watching it, and then they get it into my office, and now I can't see anything, but I can hear.
Right.
And so, like, I hear the grunting and stuff getting it onto the stand, and I hear, and I'm like,
oh no.
yeah, just the trim, like
I'm
sliding it back. The
what
trim
happened? I don't even
came
know if
out.
I could say what happened before he was like, it's okay. He knows me.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's just the trim. And I'm like, okay. And they
Yeah.
literally could just like put it right
Oh,
back.
thanks.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was
like,
easy. It was easy to
Oh.
take it from the pallet onto its side,
Mhm.
but then when we got into her office, the
Back
table had a little height
down.
to it.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like, well, how do we now get it on?
Elevate
And then,
it.
of course, when we put it in there, it was like the back was facing forward.
Oh,
it wasn't
man.
like, yeah, of course, 'cause it couldn't.
Of course.
So it's like, so we had like kind of, finagle our way around
Right.
her office and then put it on there without, So it was.
yeah, my
yeah,
office doesn't
yeah.
have like, it's literally
Finagling
like
room, yeah,
the mirror.
yeah.
And then like everything is
Yeah, around
around it.
it. Yeah.
There's not a lot
Yeah,
of
we
room
measured
to-
out. We
to
measured
work
out
with.
how the laser would be with like tape. So then we
Right.
put the table around and everything, and
Mhm.
yeah, it was,
Yeah,
Yeah,
still
it
much
was-
bigger than
yeah.
we thought it was
yeah.
going to be.
And,
Oh,
if,
yeah.
and if you hear, I don't know if we're gonna hear the kids, but the kids are going crazy.
Yeah.
In the living room.
We failed on finding a sitter.
We didn't fail
We
because they're not
didn't-
by themselves.
Well, I mean, true. But
It's not like they got free range of the house.
I didn't think about it until like a week
But
before,
they're here. Oh,
and then we had someone lined up, and then which would have been out of the house,
Right.
and then they forgot plans that they had, and
Yeah.
so then
Yep.
your cousin
Yep.
jumped in and
Gotcha.
helped us.
With-
But yeah, so
her kids,
it's two girls and two boys. So you might hear
Yeah.
some screaming.
They're going at it.
All good.
Let's see. What's our next
hold
question?
on.
Oh, wait.
I disagree
What?
with
With bar?
their answer to number one
What?
for the
Most
most
common?
common
Oh.
issue.
What
So
is
what's-
it?
what's
I
your
disagree.
answer?
I disagree, boys.
Oh, let's all take a sip.
My laser isn't cutting. My power is lower.
Mm.
Mm.
There's three.
That's-
There's three.
yeah.
So there's
To be
three
real.
main.
To be real.
There's three main issues
Mhm.
that cover that, and there's three of us, so we can each go down the line with how you should go about this.
Deal.
So, if you notice that your laser isn't cutting or your power is diminishing,
Mhm.
first always square your laser head. That's usually the biggest cause.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
that if you had a collision recently, or
Man.
even if you didn't, so it always
first,
doesn't.
your first collision, can we talk about
Oh,
how
it's
fucking
scary.
terrifying
I
it
mean,
is?
I went through it too. It's
Oh
scary.
my
I
god.
haven't had one yet.
It
Yes, you
Rude.
have.
Today.
whatever. Yeah, so my first one, my friends were actually in town, and I was trying to finish these projects so that like when they were here, I didn't have to worry about working and whatever. So I was trying to finish something really quick, and I don't know what happened. Oh, I think my autofocus pin was
Yep,
loose.
that's the one.
And so it was auto focusing, and then it never stopped, and it was like, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it was awful. I
I've
was
seen-
like, and I'm still, that was a year ago, and I'm still scared of the autofocus. Like I get it ready, and then like I have my hand on the e-stop, and I'm like, do I need to hit? Okay. Okay. Like every time I'm like, I'm about to hit it and it stops. And I'm like, okay.
No, it is a
But
good
yeah.
practice though. Be ready with the e-stop because you never
Yeah.
know. It could
Yeah.
go south.
Right.
Yep. Next thing to check, I would say it's between actually the alignment or the cut settings.
Mhm.
That's very simple
What are you
because
talking about
for not cutting.
optics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Alignment.
gonna say one for me.
No.
Oh, cleaning
No, no,
the
no.
optics.
Right. Check
Yeah.
your
I want you
optics.
to answer
Yeah.
this very specifically.
Alignment
I have this
or
plan,
optics
okay?
in general. Yeah, that's a better answer. Either
Yeah.
the alignment itself might be off or it's just not
Clean.
clean.
Yeah.
But more recently, what's actually been seen a lot more is just settings.
Yeah.
They'll think that like two main things really. They'll either be going too fast. They think that they can cut at 30
Right.
millimeters per second.
Yeah.
With like 70% power, and it's not realistic numbers. Or they'll accidentally be in inches per second.
Oh,
so
right.
they think they're going 20 millimeters a second when in reality they're going like 300. So that I would say between the optics and the settings is number 2 to check. Yeah, for sure.
But all the videos I see, the laser goes so fast.
Yeah, so I mean, David kind of touched on it a little bit. But if your laser at a square, that's the easiest thing to check. Then make sure your optics are clean, mirrors, lenses. Make sure your settings are reasonable. All basic stuff. After that, there's no secret to it. You just got to align those mirrors. It probably just needs to be done a little bit better, a little bit more accurately. The other thing, too, to consider is the laser head moves really fast back and forth. Even at 300 millimeters a second, that's like, 6 or 7 Gs on the laser head, which would make like a fighter pilot pass out. You know what I mean? But your laser head's just hanging in there, just shaking back and forth.
I just pictured like my head on the laser when it's like engraving or cutting back and forth.
But that's serious, and they measure that stuff for all the equipment over there on the factory and stuff to make sure that the screws are tense enough to be able to support that. So your machine will naturally over time fall out of alignment over like the course of 5 to 6 months just from being run. So if it's not cutting well and you checked all the easy stuff, start with those videos, alignment videos.
EJ loves walking people through alignment. He's your guy.
I do. I enjoy it.
He did. He walked me through mine.
I enjoy it. But yours was actually pretty good.
Yeah, thankfully.
It was pretty spot on.
Yeah. It was a tiny bit off on Mirror 3, but it was to the point where if we tried to mess with it, we'd probably make it worse, which if I'm anywhere near it, that will definitely happen.
Was it this last time? Are you talking about this last time?
Yeah, when my machine was just
when the dot
being
was
its
blurry?
normal diva self, which is fine now.
Yeah.
It was super annoying. But basically the thing that seemed to help it after the million things that we checked that day was just turning my honeycomb over, because it had like kind of started to sag, because I've had my machine since December 2020.
Oh yeah.
But shipment 4.
Yeah.
And we'll be changing the water soon.
Yeah.
Actually, the 4th thing to check is the water for cutting. Yeah, if your water actually has been sitting too long, you will lose significant power in your tube. Yeah, it actually it starts to act like a conductor basically, so it ends up absorbing a lot of the water.
Okay, I'm gonna go change the water now.
So we don't have any distilled water.
If you've checked everything, the alignment, the laser head squareness, that water will make night and day difference. It definitely does with the power.
Good to know.
Yeah,
good to know. It needs an oil change.
Right. Are we good on the common?
Yeah. Are we allowed? I don't know if you guys want to talk.
There's a lot more.
Bed not raising.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Really?
Yeah, the bed not raising. It's usually bed not raising, but it will go down, and that means
I have heard that.
Yeah, your autofocus pin is stuck. So it'll get like jammed up, and it doesn't actually decompress all the way back down. So you just got to kind of like twist it and let it fall back down into place. Or maybe just clean the slotting, because it'll get stuck on debris and it won't fully flush down. Yeah, that's a huge one for sure.
That's a good one. I have seen that a couple times in the groups that it'll go down and up.
Yep, that's almost always the cause.
See, so how do you prepare for your laser's arrival? Any advice?
Great question.
Yeah, definitely. I would, in the time that you're waiting, check out all the videos that you can, both on our channel and like other users' channel, because you can get a plethora of knowledge on YouTube videos. Yeah. That's honestly, when I first started this job.
That's where you went.
That's what I did. I basically taught myself off of just the videos, mostly.
That's this guy.
That's what
if we have anything we need to do, he's like, let me go check YouTube.
For sure. It's
we'll
all
have
on
problems
there.
with our AC, and he'll go check the YouTube if he,
Absolutely.
I always have a sense of the problem.
Usually,
I always have like a sense of what could be, and then I just go double check and
verify,
see how.
Yeah, no, it's between our channel and then other users, it's almost all of it is on there.
Yeah. So watch videos.
I would
Tons of
definitely,
videos.
go through every single, 2-3 times even. Yeah. Try to write some notes of the key topics.
With diagrams like your notes.
Yeah, if you can, it helps. What else would you say?
I mean, YouTube University, that's the biggest thing. Go to YouTube, get your degree in lasers is the best way to do it. Learn as much as you can.
Get your space ready.
Get your space ready. That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I mean, I knew it was going to happen, and they did warn me. I'm pretty sure when I bought it. I mean, Danny was my salesman because again, I was on shipment before. So
one of the OGs.
But when and I don't know how long my wait was. Let's see. I got it in December, and I bought it middle of July, but it goes fast, and especially if you're buying it because you're busy.
Right.
That also means that if you're busy, this time is going to pass even faster.
Right.
And so I remember, like, it was like, oh my god, I can't get here soon enough. And then again, I went viral too, and I'm like, okay, I really need this machine. And then I'm like, shit, I don't have a stand.
Right.
And then I had the dance of getting rid of my Glowforge because I didn't have room for both of them. And trying to figure out when was the perfect time to get rid of it, and then getting the whole setup we had for the Glowforge was completely different than the Mira 9 as far as like space requirement. And then the stand arrived a couple days before. It was pretty close.
Yeah, I picked up the stand a little bit before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had to have like space for it to be in the meantime, so we had to clear space in our garage for it to sit when it was delivered, and then be able to move it into the house. And if you need movers,
that's a big
it can
thing.
be really hard to find movers who are willing.
Yeah, even though we did it with 2 people, I don't suggest it.
I don't recommend it. There's been people that have like talked about like, it'll be a husband and wife team, and they'll be like, oh, just me and my husband are gonna move it, and we have 2 flights of stairs. And I was like, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it. I promise. It was like my husband and his body's older brother did it, and that one step was rough.
That was a lot.
Watching, they were like,
that was a lot.
Ready.
honestly, the hardest part was to get it onto the stand.
There was 1 step up and then 1 step down.
No, the step down was great because gravity's on your side.
Right.
Up, you have to prep yourself for the weight, and then getting it up to the stand was the other hardest part.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, prepping your space is huge. Easily the most stressful thing for new customers is it going to fit once it's in your house? Like, you thought it was going to fit, is it really?
Right.
Best thing to do for that?
That's true. The taping we did, I was way wrong with the taping.
That's what,
do your taping for like the measurement of the machine, and then add like a foot or 2.
Well, right, because you got the hose,
beyond
the hose behind it,
and then you got to have like room in the back.
And then
if you need to get to it,
that's really important.
The tube extension, which is great because you have a more powerful tube, but then you have that stupid extension that like you don't, it's there and you don't, but you gotta plan for it.
I saw that post recently where it's like, what's this thing on my phone? What's this thing on my laser?
What's this thing that's sticking out?
I haven't seen it on anybody's laser. And Will's response was just happy to see you.
Your laser's happy to see you.
Yeah.
Will's always coming through with those comments.
Yeah. Big thing is reach out to your sales rep, honestly. Don't be afraid to ask them, like, can you find out the measurements of my machine from the longest point to the other longest point?
Yeah.
Factor in all that sizing, and then get cardboard boxes and literally set it up where it's going to go. Put your cardboard boxes there. Right. If that all fits, it's going to be no problem.
Yeah.
Definitely don't move it with 2 people without straps.
Right, yeah.
Like, when we set up for expos and stuff, me and my coworkers, I've moved to like a Mira 9 with like 1 or 2 other people. It's literally like a life and death mission. You're like sitting here like, I'm gonna die if we don't get this ready to go. So for sure.
Yeah, do not recommend. The little disclaimers that we should probably put them.
Mira 7 and Mira 5 are okay. Like a Mira 5 we could all pick up and like run out of here with.
It's
like,
so
no
cute.
problem.
I saw Emily's Mira 5. And I'm not gonna lie, so I actually, when my machine was being a diva a couple like months ago, or like, I don't know, couple weeks ago, I used Emily's Mira 7, and I'm like, I really liked actually working with it, because if you do smaller stuff and you really plan on like kind of sticking to smaller stuff, the Mira 7 is great.
Perfect.
Like, it was nice to not have to like, not that working with my Mira 9 is difficult at all, but like it was nice to not have to reach so far and not have to like, it was just easier to like maneuver when I was doing like small projects, and I was like, I kind of like this 7.
No, you don't.
And it's smaller. No. Calm down. And Emily was like,
it's
"Do you want to trade?"
Top of the 9.
And she was like, "Do you want to trade?" And I was like, "Nah," but I really like it.
It was fun.
But like, it's just to say that like the smaller ones have their place. Like we still like we still recommend that like buy the biggest and largest that you can afford and fit in your space, just in case, because it's not super easy to like I'm just gonna switch, but especially for business when if you instead of chasing the what do you call it? The like the growth, like being prepared for it before it even happens. But just to throw that little nugget out there that I actually liked the 7, surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah. So calm down.
No,
I do want the bigger ones, but I know that has to wait until we have a bigger house
or shop.
Yeah, that too. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, calm down. I'm not gonna put it in this house.
I guess that's what's next. We're looking for a space.
I mean, they're pretty cool. So what are the supernovas and the novas? Do you guys know? Like, what are some awesome like things that you get with those ones?
The supernova, the really cool thing is it has 2 laser tubes. It has radio frequency, the RF tube, and then the glass CO2. So you're able to switch between the 2. And the radio frequency tube is very good for like detailed engraving or delicate material.
Yeah. Kathy uses her RF. She has a Thunder with an RF tube. An Odin, I think it's called. Yeah, so she has that. She uses that for her acrylic stuff.
Yeah, no, it definitely does very detailed, precise work. So that's a really cool thing about the supernova. And the novas in general, of course, the size is great if you're doing, large projects, and that's your main.
Do you know the bed size?
Oh, off the top of my head,
that's huge.
Yeah, millimeters. I know it. Yeah. What is it? Nova 10 is 1,000.
600 on the line.
Yep. Then Nova 14 is 1,400. Yep. And then 1,600 by 1,000.
Yeah.
For the Nova 16.
So, AKA big for those who don't know the conversion. Let's see. We already talked about that one. Oh, we only have one question left. Shit. Advice for someone new or scared to use their machine. I see the scared a lot. They're terrified they're going to break everything. Yeah, they're intimidated. They're like, I was so excited to get it, and now that it's here, they,
I don't want to touch it. Yeah.
So that that kind of goes hand in hand with prepping before the machine gets there. That's going to take a lot of the fear away.
Being more familiar with it.
Yeah, once you get familiar with how it works and the controls of it and the setup part. In that time that you're waiting, by the time it gets there, 50-60% of that fear is gone.
Right.
And then I would say don't think that it's like a delicate machine. It can move fast. It can do what it's supposed to do.
And most things are like fixable.
100%. Yeah. 99.9% of the things are going to be fixable.
Just put your hand on that E-step.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's my little comfort button.
Thing when we got the 9.
He's my tech guy.
I don't know. I don't know anything about lasers. She does everything. I'm learning now. I'm going to start cutting stuff and doing things with it. But it's all her. The podcast is me. The video, the audio, that's right. Me. But so when it came in, all I knew was the Glowforge, and that's kind of like your like if you think of like your Honda, like in car talk, like your Honda's covered all by plastic. You can't see the working. When this one came in, I was like, this opens up.
Yeah,
he was all excited, and I was intimidated.
Oh, I can't wait for something to break. Like I can't wait for something to break so I can tinker with it.
Well, for me, it was coming from a Glowforge. I remember hearing Emily or other people say terms like gantry and that kind of stuff, and like your laser head, and I'm like, the Glowforge. It was good in a sense that like.
I know they heard that.
All right.
Totally heard that.
They agreed.
Was that like they dumb it down for you, but they almost dumb it down a little too much. In my opinion, now that I know the other side of it, because I didn't know what mirrors were either, and there's mirrors in the Glowforge, but like you clean them, but they call them a lens instead of a mirror usually. I think they might actually be lenses. I don't know, but like they dumb it down so much that I remember hearing the word gantry and I was like, what the fuck's a gantry? Like I didn't know. And so when this came in, it was like all the terms, and at that time the like aligning your lasers, your mirrors, there was no videos yet. It was again shipment 4
exactly,
and
it was this like 14 or 27 page email from Danny.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Do you
want to talk about scared?
Yeah.
Like
I can't imagine.
Like the video when I had to like align it with you, or when I was like trying to align it myself, when I was waiting for tech support, I was like, oh, okay. Like the video, like that's just how I learn too. I can't read it and then just run over and go try it.
Right.
And so I'd like have to read it like 6 times, and then like you'd read it, and then there'd be the "don't do this" like right underneath like what you're about to do. So it was just it was super intimidating back then.
No, that was
and then when we did it was like
time.
It was like I don't know 30 minutes to an hour tops, and we were going like super slow just for comfort level. Right. But it was like, oh, okay, it really wasn't that bad. It just it was a whole lot of words because you had to like make sure to explain it in detail. But
my advice would say just dive into it, be prepared for when it gets there, so you're already comfortable kind of how it works, and just dive into it. It's not made of paper. It's not gonna just collapse and just be destroyed on you if you
be prepared with safety stuff too.
If you catch the autofocus pin, it's going to make your laser head crooked. The pin might need to be replaced, but it's not broken.
Yeah.
People think, oh my God, I just broke my machine. It's going to take.
That's what I thought. It's going to take a lot for you
to break that machine.
Yeah, we just we replaced the pin, and I think it was actually with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then squared the laser head, and it was fine.
Yeah, and then like I said, for me, who I like to tinker with stuff and everything, when it came in and we started working on it to align everything, and I saw all the like panels that open up to allow you to get to stuff, I'm like, oh man, you can get to everything with this thing. So
and I'm the opposite.
I would definitely say don't be afraid, because customer service is great. You know, if you do have a problem, you can just call them up, and then also everything is fairly reasonable. I mean, for me, everything is reasonable because I have a little.
I'm on the opposite side, and
mechanical.
It has been like even not being mechanical, which is the whole reason I did not go with like a laser like the OwnTech, because it's a lot more like tinkering involved, and I wouldn't have the patience for that. And again, since I am the one who's mostly using the laser until recently, I didn't want to have to rely on him all the time, because if something happens, he works a 40-hour week job, so it's like I can't just wait for him to fix it for me. Absolutely. So I will say that like the FaceTiming and the stuff that you guys do, or sending like a quick video or text message, that helps a lot, and not being so scared to fix stuff in scary situations. Because again, like when you have your first collision on a $8,000 to $11,000 machine, you're like,
it's terrifying.
It's a big investment, and you do get a little, scared, but it is, everything looks like you can get to everything, and everything can be fixed.
Yeah.
And it won't cost you $10,000 each time.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, do any of you own a laser?
Not yet.
Why? They work with them. They have them at work.
Yeah, we have dozens.
That's
Dozens at the shop.
For now, just at work.
Give them.
Eventually, I'm definitely going to be getting one, but for now, just at work.
Do you know what you plan to? Do you have any plans of like what you want to do with it?
Yeah, I actually want to do something different that I feel like not a lot of people do, and kind of work on like fashion type stuff. So clothes and shoes.
So we had Victor Havens on. He doesn't own a Mira yet. I'm trying to convince him to buy one, but he made a dress out of red acrylic and ribbon, and like I'll have to find. I don't know if I don't think he wouldn't send me a picture. I think I actually saw a picture on his phone at the laser conference. But he made a red dress out of red acrylic and ribbon. So it was really cool to see, because it was like
where I would want to dive into. I do other things probably to start off, but that would be, I think, my main focus.
A guy on Instagram, he uses them to customize shoes. Yeah,
absolutely.
Shoe baker.
Yeah. One of our sales reps, he does some pretty cool things with shoes and hats. Yeah. Amazing work. And he does it on a Mira 7. So
for me, that's a good and bad thing about lasers, is you can literally do anything. Yeah. It's like endless. So endless. It's so dangerous, because it's like if you're distracted by shiny things, there's so many shiny things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to
like there's a lot of people who use them. I think it was Amanda my acrylic supplier, her boyfriend, I think, does stuff with cars, and he has a lot of people that are like interested for like custom speaker boxes and like it literally there you can find some way to infiltrate lasers into like pretty much any
like
industry.
LED for cars with like LEDs.
Yeah, man. People love custom stuff. That world is endless.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What are you gonna do with it? Do you know?
No, because that's a while down the road till I personally need a machine. Because like you said, I mean, realistically,
if you need it at work.
There's some at work. Yeah, so that's always nice. But I just would want one because I don't. I mean, after being in this industry for this long, you just see how cool these things are.
Right. Yeah.
It would just be nice to have something that cool. That like you said, can do whatever you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to.
As long as you can figure out how to execute it, like in your brain, that's literally the only like hurdle into using it for whatever.
Yeah, that's really the limit, is how creative you're willing to get with it. Like you said, people make dresses, people, engrave foods and stuff. They get really crazy with it, so it's crazy.
Yeah, which the disclaimer we should put with foods is you probably shouldn't engrave wood and then go engrave a macaroon.
Right, don't you just have to have a food laser?
It's what they recommend.
Food laser,
designated
usually
food.
a 5 is what would work for that. A mirror 5. That's I
considered it with Glowforge, like getting a Glowforge, and again, this was way before.
She got into baking cakes.
I did, and I was like, "Oh, I could really do some cool stuff with like cookies and." I did, because I would I'd see like a cake on Pinterest, and I'd be like, "I'm gonna make like that cake," and I made like a melted ice cream. And then I did like a galaxy one. Yeah, me and my roommate at the time, we would do like cake wars at the house.
That's awesome. And then we had 2 cakes.
Yeah, there you go.
Someone's got to eat the cakes. Can't just let the cake go to waste.
Right?
So,
What about you, Aspen?
I was going to say.
Absolutely not.
No? You don't want a laser?
She's like, I work with a
She's like, I work with it all day. I'm good.
Good. Nope.
Aspen doesn't bring work home with her.
No.
Actually,
that's
because I don't go home.
That's a false statement. That is a false statement.
Is actually the shop. She actually lives there.
Yeah, that's a false statement.
She has my Aeon sign
in my house.
Yeah. Her cat really likes it.
Yeah.
It's in your house?
Yeah.
The sign?
Yeah.
For safekeeping, so that they don't fuck it up.
They haven't put it up yet?
Because if they break it, I'm not making anher one.
Well, and
that is the safest place.
My plan, I haven't talked to the higher ups about this yet. I don't see why that would be a problem. I want to have like maybe in the break room or something when we get that set up.
Put all the
like a wall, have all the signs that everybody has made us.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
And my plan is
like a wall of fame.
Crystals.
Yeah, seriously, wall of fame.
Center.
Yes. Right in the center. I mean, does anybody else's light up?
I don't think so.
No.
That's what I thought.
Come on, Heather.
Have you guys seen my sign?
Absolutely.
Oh.
I showed you a picture.
I watched it get unboxed. I was like, this is awesome.
I showed you a picture, did
Don't recall.
Okay. Well,
I'll make sure to show you a video.
I did the soldering on that sign.
Yes,
nice.
I did. Anytime I do LEDs, he's my.
Yeah, I did the lighting. Well, I didn't do the lighting part, but the wiring part, that was me. That was me.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out.
Again, tinker. That's what I did.
all those signs that we have, the really big ones that people made, really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. I really like Heather's. She did like black and white.
Yes.
It's really nice. But we have a few others. I don't know who exactly made them.
Right.
Somebody used like fake turf in theirs.
Oh,
and it's really nice,
cool.
like wood paneling as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then what is her name? She does like the wood.
The circle.
It's the
Shaping.
circle one.
Marissa.
I think so.
She's
Pearl and Pine.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. She does the wood.
Yeah, she might be a really good one.
Yeah, that one's really cute.
Yeah, we've had her on the show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man.
Before the video.
My favorite part of her episode was when her mom had a ball python and it got out. It escaped.
We have a ball python.
And
I have one.
Yeah.
We don't.
Not we. It's definitely only his.
Right.
So it escaped and she thought it was gone. And so they moved apartments and everything.
What?
And it was apparently in a box.
Oh my
and
God.
So she found it, like it was in a box and she thought it was like safe there. And because at this point she had given away like the habitat and everything. So she didn't have anything for it anymore.
Right.
And so she put it in a what do you call it? pillowcase.
Yeah.
And like tied it up and was like, okay, well now I have to go like get stuff for it. So she went to go get stuff, came back home and it was gone again.
Oh my god.
So then she found it again. Thankfully, like its tail I think was sticking out or something. And then she was telling her daughter, which was Marissa, the story, and she was like, oh yeah, and then she's like, I put it, back into the pillowcase, but like made sure to tie it tighter, and she's like, and then I slept with it like in the bed and like in her nightgown to keep it warm. Yeah. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go check that one.
What episode is that?
I don't know. Marissa's Portal and Pine. I don't know what number it is.
I forget what number it is.
She got the job done. That's what matters.
Yeah, mine's only gotten out once, and it took me.
This was after I made him.
Did you find out on the podcast that he got out?
I think so.
Yeah, like I kept that. I didn't tell her at all
because it was
How big?
He's about 5 foot.
Okay.
He's like 5
foot, but he's like this big.
He stays,
but then when he's like, but when he stretches out,
he's 5
like as tall as.
My rule for him even having them, like he used to have them in those like Tupperware containers that just like slide out or whatever.
Yeah, the bigger
he built like a thing around it.
The rack.
And he was like, no, this is like how people keep them and whatever. And I was like, yeah, but you need to find a way to like lock it. I was like, there's got to be a way to. He's like, he can't get out. Like he can't push. I was like, I don't care. Like if you need. Even if this lock is for my peace of mind and nothing else. Like I need the lock on there. And then he.
That thing's huge.
Yeah.
That is a gigantic snake.
Yeah, so you'll have to listen to that episode about how he literally, it was out and he didn't tell me.
I didn't tell her at all.
He forgot to push it back in, I think after feeding them or something like that.
I forget what happened. I fed. All I know is, so I used to work the midnight shift.
Don't tell the whole story. Make them listen to the episode. But like, just give him a teaser.
When I was getting ready for work, I noticed because like I saw him. They lived next to the pig. We have a pig too.
She's not back.
She's not
Can we
back.
see the pig?
Yeah, we can
of
see
course.
it later.
Have to.
Cut the cameras and go see the pig.
So when I came out, getting ready for work, I was leaving. I saw his tub slid out, and I'm like,
who did that?
Yeah.
What happened? And then I look in there, and he's not in there.
He gone.
And at the time, I had 2 snakes, so I looked at the top rack, and she was still in there. But he wasn't in there with her either, and he was nowhere around the thing. I'm like, oh no. And JR was young, so I went to his room next, and he was fine. The snake wasn't there, so I'm like, all right.
And then he left and went to work.
We're good.
No, I did it. You're gonna have to watch the Pearl and Pine episode to figure out where the snake was. But I put him. He was back in the tub before I left for work, but I had every intention to leave. I kind of saw something. What?
You're telling too much.
No, I saw something that led me to find him. What it is, you'll have to watch Pearl and Pine episode.
Man.
But yeah.
All right.
So we're generally pretty chill though, right?
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I forget that he's even in there until he's hungry, and then all of a sudden he'll be like right at the glass. I'm like, this. Oh yeah, that's right.
If not,
we got a
so
snake.
when he gets, I know he's hungry because he starts circling his cage because essentially he's hunting.
Right.
Yeah.
But when he's not hunting, he's in his hide.
I legit forget.
And he'll only move like for body temperature to regulate his temperature. So he'll go to the cool side.
Although every once in a while,
or he'll go to the hot side.
He scares the shit out of me about once a month or once every couple months because he'll climb on top of his hide and then he's fat. So then, like, he's
in the middle, like we're going to sleep.
So it'll be like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I'll be at the house by myself because he's not home yet, or like we'll be like dozing off to sleep, and I'll hear a thud,
like a 5-pound weight drop.
Literally, and I'm like.
And when he's shedding, it sounds like kind of like a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're nocturnal, so they move at night.
Yeah.
So when we're sleeping and you hear like it sounds like a plastic bag or something,
and
I'm like, we're like, what's that? And then I realize I'm like, oh yeah. I shine a light and sure enough, he's trying to get the shed off of him.
Wow.
Yeah. Or I see him crawling around because he's hungry, and I'm like, oh, he must have like fell off or the thumb. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Do you like snakes, Aspen?
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Alex, the tech that DJ mentioned, he has a few snakes.
Oh, nice.
He's got all kinds of animals.
They're cute.
Yeah.
So with Alex, that's my pet got out story. Is we when we first moved out of high school, he was one of my roommates. Alex was. His snakes were super chill. They never got out. But he had I don't even know, a tarantula that's a little bit bigger than that.
No.
And not to go too deep into animal facts, but there's different kinds of tarantulas, obviously, right? There's some that are arboreal in the trees, some that are terrestrial on the ground. The ones that are on the ground are really territorial.
Yep.
And they'll seek out mammals in their area and throw spines at them. And so I just remember I remember walking
New
into my
fear
house.
unlocked, okay?
Yeah. I remember walking in my house. My phone was dead. I plugged it in, and the first text I get is from him saying, "Hey, watch out! Can't find the spider."
Nice.
I was like, "What do you just mean you can't find the spider? Did we look for the spider at all?" And then I remember walking around looking, and then I find my dog at the time just staring up at the ceiling with the most wide-eyed look in her life, and this giant hand-sized spider was just up on the wall. It was a good time. We had to chase it around. It was throwing little hairs at people and stuff. It was weird.
Oh no!
That's the nice thing about the steak is they're pretty chill. And they're big. But when something's just small enough to get lost in your house, that's nightmare feeling.
No.
I mean, he got lost.
No.
He got lost. You have to watch Pearl Pine, but I didn't know where he was.
Moving to Florida actually got me more comfortable with spiders because roaches replaced that fear of spiders.
Yes.
Roaches are gangsters, and they're terrifying. And I remember my first experience with them here by myself, and I tried to shoo one away from me, and it came for me.
No.
I still don't like spiders. And if they come near the bedroom, or if they come near me, I'm gonna have to kill you, or I'm gonna have to call him and tell him to kill them. But for the most part, if you're just sitting over there, I'm gonna leave you be, because it probably means you're eating something else and whatever. But big ones, there's a size limit for sure, and roaches took that.
I hate roaches.
Spot.
You got something?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, are you from Florida?
No, I'm not.
Well, you are technically now. The first time a roach stares back at you, and then you're get out of here. Why are you not scurrying away? And they come at you. That's you're authority.
No. When you see one on the wall and you're about to you something, and it says, and it goes,
and you see the wings,
it flexes its wings on you.
You can fly.
And you'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna stay right there. I'll be right back," because you have to reassess your whole approach to getting.
If it has wings, it is now your house. I'm evicting. I got it. We're good. This is why
they certainly flex those wings to I know what to get you.
There was one that was, oh my god, the craft room. So my craft room, my office used to be where the kids' playroom is now, across the sliding glass door. And I went to go grab some. I had a bunch. I had those IKEA cube shelves, and I had a black bin in it, and I went to go. I was gonna go open it, and then I saw what looked like a hair. There's hair all over the house because of me, and so I see it what I think is a hair, and then I couldn't touch it. I didn't touch it. But I almost did, and that's the worst part, is that I almost did. And so I go to look, and then
timestamp.
Yeah, right.
that reaction, that's my teaser right there.
And then it moves. Thankfully, at the right moment, so that I didn't grab it, and then I see that there's two of them, and so then I was like, "All right, I'm out." But so the funny part was, again, I was still I sat on the edge of the couch. He was at work. This was at 9 or 10 o'clock. I sat on the edge of the couch with the can of spray. As long as it doesn't move, we're fine. I watched TV from this angle, and I just kept checking every once in a while, okay. And he came home, and I'm literally sitting on the edge of the couch with a can of the Raid, and I'm here you go. Man. So then he takes it out, and then he realizes there's wings, and so that's when he had to run outside and then turn it over and take care of it outside, because
took the whole.
He's like, "Do you need this stuff inside?" And I'm like, I mean, I kind of, but if we have to sacrifice those supplies, it's fine. It's fine. They're his now. They're his. Yeah, so but.
So before we go, what's the favorite aspect of the job?
I would have to say that it's you can never get bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something new to learn, or a new thing that you can think about, or a new improvement to make, basically. So yeah, I would say the dynamic of it, how complex it is, it always keeps you on your toes.
When you're helping people.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
and it's a great
They
feeling.
love you guys. Like,
No, it's a great-
all three of you, like, it's a regular thing in the Eon group of, like,
Absolutely.
Aspen help me, David, EJ.
No, it's
like,
a great feeling to be able to know that you helped 15, 20 people a day to continue their business.
Like, you basically see all of us at, like, our worst, because we're, like,
Absolutely.
stressed, like, shit and bricks, like, are we going to be able to finish this project, or, how far is it going to put us behind?
No, it's very rewarding, and I would say that's my favorite. You can never get bored. There's always something new to learn. Yeah.
Always something new to learn for sure, but what you said really just hit it home. It's really, really rewarding to get on the phone with someone and hear sheer panic.
Right.
And being like, this
and
is
be
it.
able
Like,
to, like,
I can't do this.
Do you also hear when they calm down?
Yes. At the end of
Like, when they're like, thank you so much.
it's not even that. A lot of the time, it's just like they're so happy
The
at the
fact
end
that
of
they're
it.
even talking to you has calmed them, I bet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just from the start.
Because again, like, depending on, like, where they are, like, if this is their first laser or what their experience is with other lasers, the Glowforge, there's no one to call. That, like, you can email them and you wait several days.
Right.
And then it's this, like, I mean, so when you have, like, a text or email conversation, like, that could maybe take, like, 10 minutes to an hour, but over email it's going to take you a week.
Yep.
Because they take days and days or hours and hours, if you're lucky, to get back to you. And so coming from Glowforge, where it was like, if something happened, you really, for the most part, relied on the forum to kind of troubleshoot it with you. And then you had to go to Glowforge to be like, okay, how do we fix this? Because you can't troubleshoot with them, because it's going to take you, like, potentially, like, a week or two to get things figured out. But yeah, so having that is huge. I mean, it's the reason I bought one in the first place, because I knew that I had you guys. I didn't know I had you guys. You guys weren't there yet, but
No,
you're an OG. 2020. That's that is an OG machine for sure.
I didn't even know it. I didn't know Danny was the freaking president when I was ordering from him. I was like, that's just my sales guy,
nice.
Danny. I was like, Heather sent me his information, and I had total FOMO because we obviously knew Emily and she had one, and then Heather ordered one. My friend Jasmine ordered one. My friend Tiffany ordered one, and has never taken it out of the crate.
To this day?
It's been in the crate for 2 years.
I'll take it.
It's in, I don't even know where she lives. But she'll probably, I mean, I'll give you her information because it's literally, I don't think it's still in the crate. So you want to talk about, like, fear of machines? Like, she's probably the worst. She's never taken it. Yeah, never taken it out.
That actually happens a lot, sadly.
Yeah, I know. That's
really
so,
common.
That makes me sad because it's so awesome, but, like, and it's so expensive. Like, you gotta make it worth it.
Use your laser.
Use
your laser.
Stop being scared.
On that topic, actually, another misconception is, people think, like, for the majority of things, if you don't use it, it stays in good condition.
Oh, right.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't use your laser for 6 months plus, the tube actually starts to,
like, deteriorate. Basically.
Yeah. Oh. The gas mixture starts to attack the internal mirrors in the tube, and your power is shot.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've had a couple of customers that,
like,
finally 8 months later, and needs a new tube right away off the bat.
Yeah.
Use it or lose it.
Good to know.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely.
Aspen, favorite aspect of the gig?
Her title, Laser Fairy.
Dealing with that?
Well, this job allows me to do the things that I really like, and I mean, and that's been through, like, all the roles that I've done. So when I was a technician, it was, taking apart and building the machines, which I really enjoy doing. Like you said, I really like tinkering, so that gave me the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And I do have a little bit of a competitive side, and we do keep track of our times.
Nice.
So
who's winning? It sounds like Aspen.
It was me. trying to decide if I can beat Sam and
Sam,
Alex.
man.
I think I could beat Sam.
Sam and Alex
Because Sam and
are-
Alex don't liar. They test mostly, so I think I could smoke them.
Okay.
Xavier's not far behind me, though.
He's up there too.
I also have a big
guys.
advantage because we have a lot of new people. So.
Right.
And now with my new roles, I wouldn't say like I'm in a leadership position,
Right.
but I do like I am running different departments, I guess, and like organizing things and coming up with new or like improving systems and
Well, and you love you mentioned it on the last time you were on about the like traveling, and like if they're sending you, it's even more like severe because that means that whatever you guys weren't able to either fix it yourselves or
or it's just something we don't want the customer
exactly
because
right.
there's more that goes into
and
it.
so then even more so like you show up literally like with your basically your wings. I was gonna say cape, but wings is a lot more appropriate since you're a fairy. But you show up to save the day. So
yeah. Like EJ and David are really good at talking to people on the phone.
Yeah.
And if it's like a part swap or something, like a simple part swap, I can usually do it. But I get kind of like, I don't know, frazzled.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like.
So you get frazzled on the phone, but not showing up to someone's house?
Yeah, because
It's hard. Yeah.
It's also like a control thing, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm doing it myself.
Oh, right. True. Okay.
I'm doing it myself, and
you're not directing
and I
someone
can do
else.
it. I can do it really quick.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't believe in our
Exactly.
customers doing it. It's just like it's just a me
It is
thing.
hard.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
So just like showing up, and then I do like whenever I do like being able to I guess give them like a little not a rundown but like a little
Training sesh.
little training session. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Even if they've had their machine for a while.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, you
I
don't
tell
know
them
what
something.
you don't know.
Yeah, I tell them
So-
something and they're like, "Oh, I never knew that." Like,
Yeah.
I always try and be as thorough as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoy that and just meeting everybody and
Yeah.
going to different places.
Nice.
I always get I always try and get EJ and David little gifts when I go somewhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
When I have time,
love it.
I always try and get them a little souvenir.
Yeah.
So their desks are filled with
Full.
shit that I've bought them.
Oh.
I love that.
Except for EJ,
That's
I don't know
awesome.
where he puts his stuff.
I put it on my desk. Yeah, I do. It's there.
She's like, where?
It's there. It's just not on display.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I figured we could use this time to duke out our grievances with each other. Right now.
Hold on, let me.
wait.
I might need another drink for this.
I was
All right, EJ,
I
we'll
was
start
literally
with you.
about to say.
Popcorn ready.
All right, who's-
I was actually going to say, well, one of the best things about the company is that everyone gets along great. We all love each other.
Oh man.
Damn.
I guess not. But
Right?
I was going to say,
Well,
like,
EJ loves everybody.
Right.
But I have feelings not
He's a
mutual.
lovable
Aspen
guy.
has
I do.
a bone to pick. Just kidding.
yeah. But in Aeon Laser, the biggest thing for me is that the company really, really takes care of their employees.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not just some random 1 out of 100
Right.
person. Like Danny knows who you are.
Right.
The higher ups know who you are, and they care about like what this company is doing for you.
Right.
And that reflects on the product for you guys
Right.
immensely. Like when people come to work and you have to be like, there's always that
Oh,
one
and that's,
guy, right?
that's totally going to transfer over. I mean, that's
Exactly.
South Florida.
Yeah,
You go
exactly.
anywhere, and you know that whoever's helping you hates their job.
You're
and
already
is
having a
pissed
bad
at their day,
experience.
and so
Yeah.
you know they're not going to like.
Yeah.
The service you're going to get is different than someone who actually like doesn't mind going to work.
And there's
it's a
really-
huge difference.
Yeah, and there's really nobody that like drops any like balls over it at Aeon Laser. Like everyone's really on top of their job, and it's not common. Like everybody's been at a workplace where you come and you're like, like that guy.
There's
like,
always
Jerry's
that guy.
here.
Right,
Like,
right.
why would you do this?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jerry, but like,
Yeah.
But there's always that one person. There's really not
Right.
with Aeon Laser.
That's
and
awesome.
With all that good stuff said, and Aspen, what are we doing
Yeah.
wrong?
What a
What's the problem here?
come on, toss out some cheese.
Overnighting things?
No.
No, she stopped that.
No.
No, yeah. Like we don't even know. We're not even
It's
allowed
not a
to.
problem anymore because
Overnight,
she's
what is
cut it
that?
off.
What is that? I don't know.
Grievances.
Guys, don't throw me under the bus like
Well, you have
this.
grievances,
brought it
right?
up.
Now I do.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
No, it's okay.
Oh.
Pass. Anyway, no, yeah, like
she's gonna tell us off the air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we'll talk about it.
Just kidding.
No, like EJ said, like Lek and Danny are fantastic bosses. Like
Yeah.
with these role changes that I've gone through and all these things that like even just minor things that I've been wanting to do, I go to Lek and I talk to him, we sit down and we talk about it. He's like,
Right.
yeah, that's a great idea. Let's implement that.
Yeah.
Or, we'll kind of, talk through it a little
Which is
bit.
huge. Like, I mean, so I came from corporate accounting, and I would suggest things that probably aren't working so well, and I would always get the we've been doing it this way for so and so long, like rule and excuse, and it's like, okay, but that doesn't mean that we're doing it the most efficient way.
Correct.
That doesn't mean we're not missing something. That doesn't mean it can't be done better. But it was like, it wasn't, you couldn't bring up that kind of stuff easily. And
Just
if you
stuck in their
did,
ways,
you had to be a squeaky wheel. And it's like, okay, at the same time, how hard am I going to go for someone else's company? Like, if you don't care to make improvements, then I don't care,
For
you know?
sure.
So, yeah, it's huge to be able to know that you can, like, kind of bring that stuff up. Yeah.
Another thing that I really like is just seeing like the innovation and stuff that goes on. Like everybody knows that we have the multi-roller coming later this year, and that went into production. That was basically like done by Lek.
Yeah.
From start to
That's
finish.
so
and
cool.
It's just like an amazing feat because there's nothing else
Right.
like that. And,
Yeah.
and I mean he's done a few
was
other
very
things like
hard
the,
for me not to
the
buy
iris
it.
For
system
the
and the
Novas,
Nova.
man.
I mean,
I don't know what that is, but I want it.
It's the ventilation system.
ventilation
system.
Remember that video we saw?
Yeah.
That it
Yeah, it
retracts
opens and
Mhm.
closes. So
Yeah.
it basically
That thing is-
channels
yeah.
more of the airflow through
Wow.
one specific route rather than sharing it with engraving and cutting.
Oh, okay.
It'll switch precisely. So the cutting, it'll open the bottom fan. So that it forces the smoke through the bottom vents.
Right.
And then the engraving, it'll switch so that it rolls off the top.
Huh.
Which makes it
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forces it a lot more, directed.
Yeah.
So
all the-
he's
all
constantly
these-
making some awesome
I
improvements.
mean, even just like small things like the light burn camera holders and the Nova camera holders, like Lek designed those.
Yeah.
I mean, this man is a freaking like
Genius.
he is a genius. He is awesome.
Really.
Yeah. So just like seeing all the things that they come up with,
Yeah.
it's just really cool.
We
and
should-
I like seeing that.
We should clarify that they're absolutely not making us say this, of course.
Oh, right, yeah.
Danny and Lek
Genuine,
are not,
yeah.
but like
But
around
sponsored, right.
to
But we
jump
got all
us.
these
Like,
bullet points.
Right.
this is just how it
Danny
goes.
said.
Let me
Danny
see
sent
what
me
Danny
this
said,
email.
babe.
Genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's cool. I mean, he was very blunt and like honest too when we had him on before we had anybody else on, and it was, he was a cool dude.
Yeah, great guy. I mean, we went to the holiday party too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
fun.
remember the
Which,
holiday
yeah,
party?
but well, I remember most of it.
I remember the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and it sucks because I am so like introverted in new like
Environment
places and new
settings,
where I don't know
Yeah.
anybody. So I totally like stayed toward my corner, and like if you didn't come up to me, I didn't come up to you.
Right.
So like there's a lot of people at that party that I know now, but that I didn't meet then
person,
because I
yep.
didn't like. I mean, I definitely got a lot more social as I had more drinks. But then by that time, I don't remember the details. I remember like
Right.
bits and pieces. But yeah, I remember I was
Yeah, I
eating a
didn't
lot
get
of
to
that
make it
pizza
to
they
the
were
last
passing
one.
around.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the fuck is that gonna be? By the way,
Um,
Danny.
yeah, pretty much. I'm sure it's gonna be
I'm
good.
gonna go
though.
yell at him. 'cause-
Yes, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna
Take
be
care
good.
of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Work hard, party hard.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for making the trip out and being on the show with us.
Absolutely.
Let's go get some ribs.
We made ribs.
Made ribs?
So excited.
Made ribs.
So
CJ
excited.
has been looking forward to these ribs ever since you
The
told me
rain
you were
almost
making them.
tried to
Oh,
ruin
yeah,
them because we have
almost.
a we have a Traeger, so like rain and an electric smoker don't
Right.
exactly
But-
go well together.
But they
Yeah,
finished
so
just before the rain started.
Yeah.
So
Those ribs were smoked?
Yep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. All right.
3 hours. I got you.
Alrighty.
So with that said, it's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
bye.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done.